Okay, still getting used to this autofocus on this phone, my new phone here. Anyway, I have a quick question for everyone. And I say quick, it might take me a little while to explain it, or describe it. Okay, so Logitech Brio. It's my new webcam. I'm going to try and put some on my face in more videos. At least those that might, benefit from it, like first time playing, horror games, that kind of thing. Things like Forza, which I'm playing a lot of, doesn't really benefit from a, face cam, so I'm not going to bother. So, but I've got a Brio. Because it's apparently one of the best ones out there. It cost me £100, 1080p 60, which is what I bought it for, and it does work quite well now, but it does have some issues. When I first got it, I noticed that it would not work at 4K or 1080p 60. Now, I spent hours trying to figure this out, until eventually I realised that the cable it came with was the wrong one. Yes, I bought it used off eBay. I think it was a genuine mistake. I did let the seller know. It is a genuine Logitech cable it came with, but it's thinner. So I think it's a USB 2 Type-C cable, not USB 3. So I bought a new USB cable, which is actually up in the loft. That is another one, which I bought, which is longer. I bought a 3-meter one from Juice Bits in a nice red sleeved. It's nice, but 3 meters is the longest I could get. I need one longer than that. I need one that can almost do the entire room. So I bought that one, which is 5 meters, which is actually for an Oculus Rift, apparently. See, this is a VR link. But yeah, so I bought a cable, which is advertised as a USB 3 cable. So I thought, okay, great. Plugged it in, like I usually do, the front ones. Everything's worked, but in the front ones. This motherboard, according to the manual, has USB 3.2 Gen 1. There are 3 USB 2s on the back. There are 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1s on the back, and 2 3.2 Gen 2s on the back. And like I said, those are 3.2 Gen 1s. Pretty much everything gets plugged into those that isn't always attached. And whenever I plug something into that, including a USB flash drive, I've even tested my Elgato HD60S in that, Windows reports them as all being connected via USB 3. However, when I plug this into it, with that cable, or the other cable, Windows reports that it's not running at USB 3, which means I'm assuming it's seeing this as a USB 2, even though these cables are rated for USB 3, and that one's advertised as a USB 3.2 Gen 1. So, since those are 3.2 Gen 1s, I would have thought that would work in that, but it doesn't. In fact, obviously the USB 2s on the back say that, but the USB 3.2 Gen 1s on the front and the 3.2 Gen 1s on the back all report that it could perform faster if it's connected to USB 3. So it doesn't see it, or Windows or my PC or whatever is not seeing those USB 3.2 ports as USB 3 when that's plugged in. But when anything else is plugged into it, such as, a flash drive or my Elgato, Windows reports that as connected through USB 3. For some inexplicable reason, this camera will only work on the 3.2 Gen 2 ports. No idea. It will not work. This is the only thing that has ever not worked on those front USB 3 ports. Everything else works fine, fast, and stable, except for this. And it won't even work on the rear 3.2 Gen 1 ports. Only 3.2 Gen 2 this seems to work on. And like I say, this is rated, according to the packing, 3.2 Gen 1 cable. But as far as I'm aware, this just needs normal 3.0, which this should be able to do. Yeah, it's USB 3. I mean, it's USB 3. Do you want to focus it? You want to focus? I mean, you can see it's obviously big. So yeah, does anyone? And I don't know why. So, the weird thing is, so at the moment I've actually got a USB 3 hub there, connected into the USB 3.2 Gen 2, so I don't have to keep pulling the PC out. I will get a proper USB 3 extension lead, like 30 or 50 centimeters long, just have it sort of sticking out the bottom there or something. Because obviously pulling this out and getting to the ports, which are actually all the way over there, is a bit of a pain in the bum. So I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to get a USB 3 extension lead and just stick it out like that. But the weird thing is that is a non-powered USB 3 hub. It's a very cheap Anker. I just said that out loud. That does not sound appropriate. It's a cheap It's a cheap Anker thing. It weighs almost nothing, but it did work when I was using it with a laptop while I built this. The weird thing is, if I plug that USB 3 hub into the 3.2 Gen 1s and then plug the Brio in, it works. It's detected as USB 3. The video does glitch a bit, as I'm assuming that might not be able to carry enough power to that, I don't know. But it's fine in the Gen 2 ports. There's no picture flickering or anything. But there is picture glitching through that into that. But it works. The PC sees that as connected via USB 3 in the front ports through a USB 3 hub. If I don't use the hub, Windows thinks it's not connected to USB 3 and believes it's probably connected as USB 2. I mean, ultimately, maybe if I get an extension lead that's not a hub, that might help. Like just a normal USB 3 extension lead, plug it in the front, that might help. But it might still have the same, like glitchy picture. It's not a terrible glitching, but it's noticeable. So at the moment, yeah, I've just got the hub plugged into the USB 3.2 Gen 2, just so I can plug it in. But yeah, what the fuck? Like, why does it do that? Like, I just tried it on a whim, and yeah, it worked. Glitchy picture, but it worked. Because every other USB port, except for the Gen 2s, Windows just says this device can perform faster when connected to USB 3. If I plug it in with that cheap hub, Windows sees it as detected or connected to USB 3. So I'm flummoxed. I am absolutely gobsmacked. I do not know why it works through that rather than direct connection. But yeah, it's really weird. I just need to get a USB 3 port, USB 3 extension to replace that for the back, because don't need a hub. So I think that's the only way I'm going to be able to do it, is by plugging it into the Gen 2 ports on the rear. I'll just have an extension lead sort of sticking out, which is kind of annoying. There's no reason why they shouldn't work, especially when they work with that. And even weirder, like I said at the beginning of the video, I did, as a test, plug my Elgato HD 60S in it, which you can't see. It's actually underneath the it's actually in there. As you can see, the HDMI cable sort of going up into there. I plugged that into the front, and it sees it as USB 3. No hub. It just straight up sees it. It just will not see that. You know what? I haven't actually tried it with that cable. I should probably try it with that cable at some point. Actually, see if that cable still shows it as being connected to USB 3. Because at the first, I just thought it was the cable, which is why I bought that one. Plus, it's longer. That's another reason why I bought it. But yeah, it's just weird because it works. Even weirder, I've tried the Elgato's USB 3 cable, USB 3 Type C cable, in that on the front, connected to USB 3. It works with the Elgato's cable, but it will not work with either of these cables, even ones that are rated for USB 3 and USB 3.2 Gen 1, which is what those ports are. And it only works on the front ports and the rear ports, Gen 1, with a cheap as shit USB 3 hub. I'm at a complete freaking loss with why it's doing that. So at the moment, that's my only solution, is to have a bloody extension lead coming out with 3.2 Gen 2 ports. But yeah. Does anyone have any ideas? I mean, everything's up to date, all the drivers are up to date. I've looked in the BIOS for USB options. There seems to be very little in the way of USB options. Some of them are even grayed out, so I can't even select them anyway. So, yeah, does anyone have any clues as to why those front ports do not work with... No, they work with everything but this. They work with flash drives connected to USB 3. It works with my Elgato connected to USB 3. This works with the Elgato's cable connected to USB 3. I need to try that with the Elgato in the front and see if it still says it. If it still says it, then it definitely can't be the cable. And it can't be the PC. It has to be something to do with that. Because if I plug that into the Elgato into the front ones, and Windows still sees it as connected to USB 3, then the cable is functioning as it should. It just isn't functioning with this. Unless you pass it through a fucking USB 3 hub. You just have questions that need bloody answers, because I'm otherwise going... There's so many fucking fingerprints on that. Which manufacturers... I know it looks nice in the glossy, but good lord, it freaking fingerprint magnet. I wonder if you can get like a skin to go over that. Ordinarily, I'd usually make my own skin out of like poly? I was about to say polycarbonate. No, out of carbon fiber effect vinyl. But yeah, I would not be able to actually get these. I wonder if they do stickers for that. Curious. Have a look into that. And then I'll also have a look into plugging that into the Elgato and see if that works. If it works, it ain't the cable. And it can't be the PC. It has to be that. So yeah, if anyone has any ideas what's going on, please let me know. This is beyond my technical expertise. I mean, I have a fair amount of knowledge when it comes to technical things with PCs and everything, but this has flummoxed me. This has absolutely confused me no end. And I spent hours trying to sort this out. And 20 quid on 2 cables. So, and £100 on a camera. And probably about £5 on that about 2 years ago. And about £2,000 on that. Let's not go there. So, yeah. Weirdness in a bottle. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Thank you for watching. Anyone who has any ideas why front USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports will not work with this, but work with everything else. Anyone has any ideas, let me know, and I'll give them a shot. As long as it's not something stupid like, you know, tell me to go into the command prompt and type in C/Dell/Windows/System32 and try and trick me like that, because I will be on to you. So I didn't plan to say that. I was just saying, I probably got that wrong actually. Is that no Dell C prompt Dell? You used to have to put the drive letter even if you're on the same drive letter, like C:/Windows/System32. It won't work anyway, I don't think, because it might be locked. I'm not sure. Shame on you for trying to do that though. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Any help or information will be greatly appreciated. But from now on, you might see my face in some videos. If it's a new game, I might do it for 1 or 2 of the first videos, or games that might benefit from it, like say scary games, horror games. I don't know what other kind of games might actually benefit from being able to see your facial expressions. No idea. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah, any help will be greatly appreciated. And oh, hey, guess what? I'm still demonetized. So, you know, for the people who are out there, if they like my content and you like my videos, and since I'm not actually earning any revenue from YouTube, buying things like this gets a little bit more tricky. If you do like what I do, and you like what I make, and you like what you see, you know, I do have PayPal links in my descriptions and whatnot, and a PayPal link on my channel. I do have a Patreon link, but no one's bothered with that. Actually, no one's bothered with PayPal either. But definitely don't bother with Patreon. I don't have any like perks to give you or anything, so don't bother with that. PayPal will be fine if anyone wants to donate. It's not mandatory, but it will help me to sort of like buy things like this, you know, for the channel to keep it a bit more fresh. And yeah, until I'm remonetized again, hopefully, fingers crossed. So yeah. Thank you for watching. I shall stop the video now because I've been whittling on for too long. So yeah, PayPal, link in the description, and any help with this you can give me will be greatly appreciated, and I'll try it and I'll see what happens. So, thank you for watching, and bye for now. Bye!